We all remember recess growing up in school. Recess was a time of day where you could have all the conversations that you could not have while in class. Recess is where you had the real conversations. And real conversations we're going to have. In each episode of the Recess podcast, I'm going to have real conversations explaining students and school. I'm David McGuire, and I'll be your host. It's recess time, y'all. Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of the Recess Podcast. I'm your host, David McGuire. This is episode 14, and this was called Student Voices. But as you know, it's Thursday night, so I like to call it Education on a Thursday night. But I got three awesome guests with me. I told y'all we was going to bring the youth in, or as I call them, the future. And we're going to have a conversation about this whole school reopening thing, because right now, the only people you hear from is adults. And we need to speak to those that are actually living it each and every day. And so I have three awesome guests with me. But if you're a first-time listener of the Recess Podcast, it stands for Real Education Conversation, explaining students and school. And I got some youth with me, and I know each of them, whether I know their parents or I know them. So best believe they either come from genes that are real or they're real themselves. And so this is definitely going to be a real conversation. So tune in, like, share. We're streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube page. So we love to see the comments, jump in, and we're going to engage and talk about this whole school reopening thing. We're going to talk about a little bit of Kamala Harris, and we're going to touch on some of the stuff that's been happening in our community and how it's impacting them. And also at the end, they're going to share some amazing things. So in addition being, students and scholars at that point, they got some other stuff that they're doing as well. So let's jump in introductions. We're going to start with the elder statesman, the college sophomore, Miss Leela Champion. So Leela, introduce the folks, tell them who you are, what school you go to, what year you in.
Hey everybody, I'm Leela Champion. I am a sophomore at the University of Notre Dame, studying marketing with a minor in Africana Studies and Education.
And then it will be Miss Jania. Jeanette.
My name is Jania Weathers. I attend Cecina Memorial High School. I'm a junior, and I run for the track team.
And Morgan Wright.
Hey guys, I'm Morgan Wright. I'm a junior at Charles A. Tinley Accelerated High School. I'm the setter on the varsity volleyball team, and I'm also the football team and basketball team school photographer.
Awesome. All right, so let's jump in, because I gotta ask the question that I think a lot of people, want to know. So we're gonna go back for a second. So take me to last year. So Morgan, we were kind of in the same boat. Because I work at Tinley, just I'll throw that out there. I work at Tinley, and I know Morgan's dad and Morgan's mom. So Morgan, take me back to last year when they shut us down and we had to go virtual, and how the virtual went and all that. And I want to hear from your perspective and the perspective of your classmates, because they already heard how the adults felt about it, because I told them about that. But tell us about your perspective and the kids. Like, what was all that like?
I really thought it was going to be difficult, because the way my teachers operate, they're kind of on the older side, so they don't know how to use that technology stuff. I thought it was going to be slow. I thought it was going to be hard, but really, it wasn't really like as hard as I thought it was. It actually was a lot easier than what it was during the school year. I mean, they was killing me with that turn your camera on early in the morning, because don't nobody want to do that.
So look, listen, I wrote a blog about that. Y'all need to have y'all camera on.
No. No, because you have those teachers where it's like, okay, let's be very honest. Like, you have your black teachers that are like, they know black culture. So you got your do-rag, your bonnet on. Like, yeah, it's early in the morning. You're going to keep it on. You need your hair straight. But, we have those non-black teachers, not going to say
white teachers.
Right.
Yeah, white teachers. I got you.
You're like, can you please take those off? Those are a distraction. Like, I'm like, no, baby, this is my culture. So, yeah, but I mean, it was a lot. It was like a shift and everything, but I really thought it was going to be hard, but it was actually a lot easier. And like, the teachers were more available than what they were in the school year. So it was kind of strange.
Okay, so we're gonna touch on that in a little bit. But Jania, I'm gonna go to you. Your mama said, Jania, you a senior. See, your mama said you a senior. You
yes,
called yourself
I'm a senior.
junior.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a senior.
Okay, so Jania, go back to your junior year when school shut down at Cecina. what was that like for you? Like, what did your classmates say? Like, how was that whole interaction with e-learning last spring?
So basically, I remember all the teachers saying like it wasn't a big of a deal. Like we'll just be back in school after 2 weeks. Like it's fine. And then all of a sudden we all get this email and they're like, oh, it's gonna be, you guys are gonna wait till like next time. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you're not coming back to school till next year. And then once throughout summer break, like we were all waiting to go through school, and then we weren't getting any information. Like it was very unorganized. But once like August hit, they start telling us all this information, and it was kind of overwhelming throughout summer break because no one knew what was gonna go on. Like no one knew what was gonna happen for the next school year. And once junior year ended, everyone was pretty confused. Everyone didn't know what was going on, but after a while, I think we all started to figure it out. It was just a lot going on all at the same time, and no one knew what was going to happen next. It was just a surprise every single time. So
Jania, did you guys did y'all have courses in the spring? Like, did y'all do e-learning in the spring after they realized you'd be shut down?
Yeah, we would still we wouldn't have like virtual classes. Really, it was just like the teachers giving us our work online. So it was kind of hard for us because they weren't teaching us anything. They were just giving us assignments. Okay. And I think a lot of people struggled towards the end of the year because it was just like teachers didn't know what they were doing. They were just giving us work. I think they were still trying to follow the plan that they had for just the original school year. So it was just like none of the work made sense. Nothing was lining up correctly. So, I mean, it was work. Yeah, it was a struggle, but yeah, once that school year ended, I think they got things figured out for this school year, at least.
Got you. All right, before I jump to Leela, Morgan and Jania, I'm gonna ask y'all a simple question: yes or no? Did y'all do work in the spring? Yes or no?
No.
I knew it. See, I knew it. Thank you.
Because Timmy, like they made it clear, there was like it's only really necessary if you're failing in the previous semester. I don't fail classes.
So y'all was skating. Y'all was skating the last 9 weeks.
Man, I was
asleep. The teachers were really lenient.
See, don't tell me that. Yeah, okay. Educators that are watching, jump in the comments, please. I know I got some educators watching. I need to hear from my teachers. Jump in the comments. Were you lenient on your students? Were you lenient on your scholars, your students in the spring? Because Jania and Morgan both said that they didn't do no work because their teachers were lenient. Which, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest. No, I'm not going to lie. I made my kids work. We failed some kids, and we held them back. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, Leela. We'll get on that later. Leela. So, I need to hear from you because you were a freshman in college. You were out of high school, out of the house. I mean, it's college time, and then they was like, "Yo, y'all got to pack up and go to the crib." So, tell the folks about what the end of that freshman year was like at Notre Dame on the college campus.
Okay, so like the week that we got sent home, so I was already going home that week. So my mom was having her breast removed that week of spring break. So it was like a couple days before spring break. I was already going home. But like I only took one small bag. I was going to Indy for the weekend. Like I'm only 2 hours away. I come back after spring break and I'm good. So I took a small bag when like my mom had her surgery and stuff. And then we got an email like, hey, y'all can't come back. But we'll pay to mail y'all stuff to y'all. They were like, pay us $500 to pack y'all rooms and send it to y'all. I'm like, that's only like $40 in gas to get to Notre Dame.
Whoa, because I think folks missed that.
Yes.
Did you just say they said give us $500 and we'll pack your room? I think you muted. Hold on. I think okay, there you go. Wait a minute. You said $500 and they'll pack your room, right?
Yeah, $545 for them to pay a moving company to come pack your room up and send you your stuff. So I opted out of that option. I'm like, I live too close to get my stuff packed up. I can just come get it. But like we weren't allowed on campus until August. So basically I spent the whole summer with like no clothes. But my mom was recovering, so we had went to Dayton, Ohio to take our just finish class out. Professors, they're way different from high school teachers. Like, I don't know. They're only experts in their subjects. They're not like human beings. They're not good people. Like, most of them are not. they was coming hard with the work. Like we still had finals, everything. Like they was on the same pace. So that was tough. Like an environment, like I didn't have a printer at home. Like we don't have a desk in my house, stuff like that. Like all the environments and the resources I had at school, I lost. And they were just not happy with. I mean, they didn't really care about. They weren't considered, but like you can reach out to them and like they can only be so compassionate. Like they're not that nice. In my experience from the teachers I had. So it was kind of rough, but they released that pass fail option or that credit no credit. So I was like, I might just cut credit no credit a couple of these classes. But yeah, so that was my experience. It was my biggest thing was the refund. So that's what made me hot because it cost like $70-something thousand to go to Notre Dame. So one semester $36,000. My refund was $600. We was only on campus for like 2 months. Like they didn't give us room and board back, none of that. They gave us $600. So I was sick about that. Like I know it wasn't my money, but still,
like, it's the principle of it, though.
Exactly,
it's the principle.
Right.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to a couple of things. I gotta go back to this packing up the room, though. I gotta go back to that. But before I go back to that, and you sent me some quotes from college students that you know. So, and I know you're connected with a lot of college students, not just at Notre Dame, but like across the country. So when you talk to your friends and stuff, like whether they were freshmen in college or what would you hear from other college students about how like last semester ended for them? Like, did they have similar experiences, like where they went home what they thought was a weekend, and then the university was like, "Yo, y'all can't come back."
So for the kids at the like Ivy Leagues and stuff, and the kids who weren't, so we were on spring break. That was a good part for us. Like we was already going home. For the kids who got like put off of campus, like they felt like they got evicted out their apartments and stuff. Like all of them was living off campus. No, and some of them did. Like they, students live off campus and stuff. Like they're like, we're not breaking this lease. Like you're gonna still pay us rent if you're going home, but you got to get out. So it was like,
you got to
go. They wouldn't break the lease at all. A lot of my students was like, the people I'm connected with, they was like going back to toxic environments. Like, people come to college and find who they are and like find themselves, and their family's gonna be rocking with that. So it's like, now you gotta come back and you gotta follow these rules or you gotta get out. So like a lot of people was hating the environments they was in.
And that's real because
yeah.
So we're gonna fast. Listen, we coming back to that packing up the room. I got to note myself. So Morgan and Jania. So let's fast forward. Okay, we are now in school year. We're in now 2020, 2021. So you told us what it was like in the spring. Paint a picture for us. What's it been like in the fall? So Jania, I'll start with you because I know you're doing virtual. So tell me what that's like. Let me ask you this. Did you guys have an option to go back in person or everybody's virtual?
Yeah, so they had us in like 3 different groups. So like group A is like A through S, I think, and then group B is like S through Z, and then group C is all online. And basically group A and B like will switch days for when they'll go to school, and then group C will stay online for the rest of the school year. And so I chose to stay online because I just thought it was easier for me. And some people didn't like it. So some people chose to go back to school, but I felt like staying online would be easier for me. But I think that it started off really confusing because no one knew how to use their computers. No one knew how to like set everything up. All the info was in like all different places. Like teachers were telling us different things, go to different places. And then, we're figuring it out a little bit more, but so far, it's been okay. So
what are y'all? What platform are y'all using? Like Google Classroom, like Microsoft, what?
Yeah, we're using Microsoft Teams, and
okay,
we'll like have like it's basically the same thing as school. Like we'll just have a class, and then we'll have a passing period. So people online will have like a 10-minute break, and then go to their next class, and then we'll have lunch, and then resource, and then basically it's like a little break for people online. But it's basically a whole school day.
That's what I was going to ask you. So what time do you start class, and what time are you done?
Yeah, so I have to wake up at I try to wake up a little bit earlier because it takes me forever to just get I have to show my face in the camera. So I'm like,
you don't have a bonnet on? You ain't got your hair wrapped?
I have my scarf on. I'll show my face with my scarf on, but my teacher, she's she's cool, so she's okay with it. I'll have my scarf on. I'll be under my covers. I don't care, but
whoa! Did you say underneath your covers?
Yes.
You're out there chilling. Hold on. Wait a minute. So I'm good. Look, I'm good with the scarf. I'm like Morgan. It's the culture. I'm good with the scarf. The covers though, that's pushing it. The covers is pushing it. The covers.
No, covers is not pushing it.
You
I'm
right.
at home.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question. Do you take your blanket to school with you? Okay, enough said.
If sophomore year, I did. Sophomore year, I did because it was cold.
Did you take your blanket to school?
No.
Okay, hold on. Does Casino wear a uniform?
Yes, they have a strict uniform.
Hey, you gotta wear your uniform on camera.
I mean, some teachers they want us to wear something specific, but the other teachers they don't care.
Wait a minute. Some teachers gave you our dress code and some didn't.
Well, it's not like the uniform, but they want us to look like they don't want us to be in our PJs. Like,
oh, so you can't. You just okay. Got you. Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Janine, I'm gonna come back to you with these blanket and underneath your covers. Okay. And look, your mom popped in here. She said her school's been an e-learning school for 2 years. They even had days. Wait a minute, y'all did y'all stay at home? See, Morgan said we weren't ready for that, were we? Last year?
No, not at all.
Tinley wasn't ready. So Janine, that's good that your school had already kind of planted that seed, like for you guys to have that. But Leela, who graduated from Tinley, and Morgan, that e-learning smacked us dead in the face.
I feel like once you hit junior year at Tinley, you should sometimes have days where you're online to prepare for situations like that. Because like we're in the 21st century, it's 2020. A lot of things are technology based. So I would say Tinley gonna have to adjust. I'm like my dad. I make faces like.
Right. So Janine, I had somebody ask. They wanted to know what school you attend. So you just tell them what school you attend again.
Oh yeah, I go to Cecina Memorial.
And you are
just a senior.
That's right. I was testing you. All right, Morgan. So I know what it's like at Summit, but I want you to tell the folks what's it like at Tinley Accelerated High School. It's now fall 2020, right? So we're in a new school year. What's this e-learning been like? What's been your experience, and what have you been hearing from your classmates?
I'm trying to think of how I want to put this.
I know your dad's watching, and I know some of
because my dad still does work at Tinley. My dad's in enrollment, so I don't.
Yeah, and I work at Tinley. But listen, this is the Recess Podcast, non-sponsored by Tinley, sponsored by David McGuire, so we can have a conversation.
Do I have anything Tinley in the background? Okay, I just don't want nothing to contradict my dad, because that's
there. You go. Look at that.
You gonna be paying.
Well, yeah, Morgan, paint us the picture, because I know you got your ear to the ground. You know what's happening. What's happening with Tinley, and what did you choose for your options for school this semester?
So originally, Tinley had 3 options. They had you can go to school, you could stay home, or you can do 2 weeks in school, 2 weeks out. Morgan was going to do the 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out, but didn't happen that way. So. Every school in Marion County wasn't supposed to start to a certain time, but Tinley said we're going to start school just virtually for 2 weeks. The first week, it's called the Bridge Week.
Mm-hmm.
It was only person who knew what they were doing on that Bridge Week was Mr. Cody, because
shout out to Cody Stanley.
Right. And then they were just. And I'm on the phone with my friends, during the note-taking class. I'm like, do they not know that we know how to take notes? it was just funny because we would have ourselves muted, but we would have a junior group chat. Well, we have our classes group chat, and we would just be on there because that's who we study with. And we'd be like, are they serious right now? This is what they do in EC? This is the hype with EC? And so then it really didn't start getting to actual learning till our last week of e-learning. Teachers really started to I'm not gonna say every teacher because we still have some slow teachers that aren't connected with the technology. But
we're gonna talk about that.
Right.
We're gonna say that.
They started to actually make it seem like class. Teachers weren't really tripping on what we had on, where we're sitting. It was more of, are you paying attention? Are you taking notes? Because at the end of the day, EC is you kind of on your own, but you kind of not. You got to do what you got to do, or you're not gonna do what you got to do. It's like that kind of. And
so Real quick, my boy Dr. Smith said y'all in the group chat when y'all supposed to be in class, man. Y'all capping on the group chat. Y'all supposed to be in class instead
See,
of listening to
no, no, it's not like that. It's just that we're like, it's sometimes you just have to look and be like, I think these kids know what they doing. Like my class, we know what we're doing. Class of 2021, probably not. Class of 2023 and below, absolutely not. But 2022, we on it. Like,
They own it.
Then me and like a couple of friends, we went back to school. We started school this week. Am I here for it? Absolutely not.
So when you say you're not here for, what does that mean?
I really thought like they would have had like staggered transitioning, something like get me out my seat. We sit in the
No, you can't be telling the business. Hold on, wait. They got no staggered transitions?
Yes, they don't know. Like we sit in like the same seat every day at like.
Well, here's the thing. That's a safety issue.
Yes, but then if you have like staggered transitions, like
you got time to clean it.
Yeah, and so then the teachers, like Tinley teachers, they circulate the classroom. They can't do that now. So and then like you got a camera in like the far part of the classroom, and those things that's just blocking you, you can easily go to sleep.
See,
I'm not gonna do that. I haven't.
Okay. You know what? Hold on. To the sleep before Jania, let me ask you something. Yeah. Has anybody fell asleep? Has a kid fell asleep while they've been online yet? I've always wondered that.
Don't lie.
Yeah, I was like, don't lie, because y'all talking about y'all underneath covers and stuff. Y'all chilling underneath covers.
Some people, they turn their cameras off, so I feel like they'd be going to sleep. They turn their cameras off. But,
okay, see, that's how you know. That's how you know they ain't doing no work. They ain't doing no work. All right, Leela, before
interesting, then you gonna have to follow class not interesting.
See. All right, Leela, before we jump to you real quick, if you just tuning in, this is the Recess Podcast, episode 14. It's called Student Voices. I got Jania from Cecina, a senior at Cecina, Morgan, who is a junior at Tinley, and then Miss Leela Champion, who is a sophomore at Notre Dame. And so we're just having a conversation about school reopening. And again, like I said, we've had a lot of these conversations, whether it's been politicians or business people or educators like myself, and you haven't seen enough conversation from the youth. So you haven't seen where the youth and the students who are being impacted by this, where they've had an opportunity to kind of paint the real picture of what's happening. And again, this is a real conversation. And these students are, like I said, I either know them or I know their folks. And so I know what they're about. And not only are you getting the real, but these aren't just anybody. I mean, these are excellent students who are going to do amazing things. And so I wanted to bring them on and have this conversation. So I will say, if you're following this, like it, share it with somebody, tag somebody. I appreciate everybody jumping into the comments, but I'm going to preface this next one. I advise everybody, if you're tuning in, to buckle up, because I know you guys have probably seen the stories with Notre Dame University and what's happened this week. So Leela goes to Notre Dame and is heavily involved. And so Leela is going to paint a picture about what's really happened from a student perspective, but Leela's also going to make sure that she doesn't go too far because she still has to go to school there. So Leela, same question I posed to them. The school year started for you. Tell the folks what's it been like. I know we talked in the pre-show a little bit. What's been happening on the campuses of Notre Dame and South Bend?
Okay, so yeah, we've been here 3 weeks. I'm gonna take y'all back to before we got here. They emailed us, like, we're gonna send you a test kit. You test yourself and you send it back. I sent my test kit. I got approved to come back to campus, and they sent all the scholarship kids to this thing called Team ND before the school year starts. And so I was one of those kids. I'm a Fighting Irish scholar. So if you first low income, first generation, all the vulnerable populations, we were the guinea pigs for the first start of how it was gonna go. Yeah, so that's ironic. They brought all the vulnerable populations and all the student leaders who qualify for these programs on campus. And for that week, it was called, they came out with the fire marketing campaign called Here. Here we wear our masks, here we do this stuff. And all of us was scared. So we was following protocols for the first week. And then they was teaching us about like what we should do to hold our peers accountable to wearing their masks and stuff like that. Because they knew next week it wasn't gonna go as smooth as it was going. So like we were having these conversations, and then next week people's parents started moving them in and stuff. And that's when it went wild. Like people's parents were breaking the rules before their kids could. Like people were moving their kids in with no mask on. So it's like the kids, the white parents was going wild. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm calling them out. The white parents was just having the time of their life, sitting out drinking and stuff, and it was like we're in a pandemic.
Literally.
So the first 2 weeks of class, these next 2 weeks we've been going in person on classes. I'm in the business school, so Mendoza's business school is like mostly all white males, who come from affluent backgrounds. So like we're talking about the kids of CEOs all over the world. Every big bank and all stuff you can think about, their kids go here. So Friday night, I look out my window and they partying crazy. Saturday, I'm on Snapchat. They are throwing parties. Like, it's so many of them. All the whites is turned up in their apartments. Sunday morning, I woke up, emailed my professor, like, I'm sorry, but I cannot attend class in person no more because I've seen so many of my classmates at parties. Like, I didn't tell them who it was or nothing. And they were like, oh, no, we can't do that. Our class don't go virtual. So I'm like, okay, what you doing in the spring? So then they told on me, sent me to the psychiatric person, had the advisor call me and stuff like that. And then next you know, the president went live and did a town hall. And his town hall, he was like, everybody's going virtual because we went from 40 cases on Friday to we got 304 cases today. So
whoa.
Exactly.
Did you say y'all had 40 on Friday?
40 cases on Friday.
And now y'all got 300 and what?
We had 304 at 12 o'clock.
Hey man, today. Folks out there just reckless, man.
Exactly. And it's like these kids who had parties, they brought it to their roommates. Like, it's a whole bunch of people's roommates who didn't do anything, who were on quarantine and got COVID because their roommates was reckless. Like, it's one girl who went to the bathroom and somebody who used the bathroom. We got communal bathrooms. The girl used the bathroom, didn't know she had COVID, and now they're just spread to everybody on the floor. So, yeah, I've been washing up in the sink because I'm not using the community bathroom. Like,
that's real.
The dining hall, it's been like, everything is just bad. And it's like, so we went online class 2 days. Today, one of my teacher's videos went out. And so it was a black screen. He was trying to teach on a blackboard. And he was like, we all got to buy Ethernet cables by next Tuesday to take his class because the Wi-Fi is not strong enough to hold all of us. There's petitions right now to send the freshmen home. All the upperclassmen are trying to send the freshmen home. When I feel like, personally, the freshmen have not been wilding. Like, this their first time getting freedom and stuff, but they've been following the protocols from what I've seen because we had an event with all the black freshmen last week. But it's like the upperclassmen, seniors and stuff who want to enjoy their senior year, they're throwing parties and stuff like that. Like, freshmen don't have apartments. They live on campus. Like, they just been in their rooms, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been a lot of blames, but it's honestly wild. Like, everything is for money here.
Leela, let me ask you this. Have they released, I know they released the total number of cases, but have they released the number of cases based off demographics, or are they keeping that close knit? Because I know they have it. Are they releasing like this? Are they?
So let me tell y'all the only demographic that I got. So I'm in the business school, and I told you, my professors, they thought I was crazy. The dean of the business school emailed and said, I checked the cases and looked at everybody's major. Over 99% of the majors is the business students. So these are the people I'm walking in the buildings with every day. So the arts and layers majors and these are the leaders of America who's gonna get for the top firm kids who recruit heavy. They're the one who can't follow simple instructions. They just told us to use hand sanitizer, wear our mask, take our temperature, and do a daily health check. Like, it was simple rules that they just couldn't follow for the couple of weeks that they wanted us to follow. So basically now we're on punishment. We got 2 weeks to get it right, or we get sent home. And
so when you say so
good for a lot of people.
So when you say y'all got 2 weeks to get it right or you get sent home, it'll basically be like it was in the spring. They're gonna send everybody home, and now classes online for how long? Did they say?
Yeah, so we started online already for the next 2 weeks, but we never had a schedule for the spring. Like, that was ever planned out. They was like, we're gonna bring y'all back and we're gonna figure out spring out later. So we never even had a schedule for spring semester. We're only supposed to go to school from August to November. And they was like, we're gonna figure that out when November get here or when January get here. So
okay, so listen, if the folks are listening, again, if you just tuned in, Recess Podcast. So Leela attends Notre Dame University. A lot of people know Notre Dame University, right? A very prestigious school. It's not an Ivy League, but it's one of the most prestigious schools in South Bend, Indiana. If they are just swinging it, can you imagine what some of these high schools in these inner cities is doing? Like, if Notre Dame is out here winging it and unsure, can you imagine what's happening? So Leela, you and I talked about it in the pre-show when we asked about testing. You said at first they were only testing the football team. And I think everybody's jumping in and know that's a money grab, right? Like, Notre Dame football probably brings in a third of the money, if not more, for the university, right?
Mhm.
And so of course, we're gonna test the football team because we gotta have a football season.
Mhm.
But when you think about the Black students on campus at Notre Dame, because it's not that many, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's like maybe 500 across all grades, including grade
Okay,
school.
so there you go. So we're talking about what have the Black students been saying that you've hearing, whether it's been like those that you know or just in a group chat. I'm sure there's some kind of Black Notre Dame student union. What's that been like?
Yes. So we got a Black group chat. Like we've been taking it every day. But like today it was wild because people were fed up. Like everybody be saying with like look what the whites doing now. Like let me tell y'all what the whites is doing. And like we got put on lockdown like 2 days ago, like a day and a half ago. And these kids are outside taking their online classes, like 10 of them in the group outside in the yard with their computers taking classes. Like they still not regarding what was said. But like most of us, like the Black kids who don't want to go home, like that's like the consensus. Like we don't want to go home. Like let's start holding people accountable. Quit being scared to speak up. If you see somebody doing something, say something, things like that. So everybody is like mostly on that consensus, except for a few people like they want to go home. But yeah, the
Right.
we've been following the rules for the most part. Like you see a Black person with their mask on, they them. Yeah, like they check them, they tell them about themselves.
Hey, amen. So I got some folks that got some questions. So Jania, I had somebody that wanted to address. So Morgan threw some shade at the class of 2021. So the folks want you to comment. They want you right, because right now on the Recess Podcast, you are the class of 2021 ambassador. So I'm gonna need you to speak up for all the class of 2021 across the state of Indiana and across the country. So what do you have to say about the class of 2021? Wait a minute, you there? I think she might be muted. I think she's muted. So Morgan, I'm gonna need you to clarify your statement. What you say about the class of 2021 then?
I'm not talking about all. My dad just walked in. He grinning. I'm not muted. I'm not talking about all the class of 2021, specifically Tinley class of 2021.
Okay, there we go. Tinley class.
Like we are like it's. Ooh, wow. It's because everybody that goes to Tinley now, I've been with them in elementary school, so it's like they really not the smartest bunch, but
Listen, I got you.
yeah, I mean, if it's common sense, yes. But if we're talking about like some other things,
all right. Look,
none.
so we're gonna shift gears. We're gonna go back to the reopening, but there's a lot happening, and I got what I say is 3 future leaders, and so I'm gonna read this quote. So it says, "We have a powerful potential in our youth, and we must have the courage to change old ideas and practices so that we may direct their power toward good ends." Mary McLeod Bethune. So as you guys know, last night, Kamala Harris accepted officially the Democratic nomination to be Vice President of the United States. So we're not gonna go political, but I want you guys to each speak about from your perspective, right? As young Black women, seeing that, right? Like we saw a few years ago, Michelle Obama in the White House, right? So we saw a Black woman as the first lady, but now we have the potential in November to elect a Black woman as vice president. Just from the presence in itself, like what does that mean to you? How does it make you feel? Leela, I'll start with you. Like, because you're doing a lot of work in leadership and things like that. Like, what does that mean to see a Black woman on the cusp of being vice president of the United States?
Yeah, so for me, anytime I see a Black woman in like a predominantly white space now, like especially after running Notre Dame, I'm clapping for them. Like I might not agree with all their ideas and everything, but like pray over them. I'm saluting them. Like for you to even exist in that space, because I know how hard that can be. So yeah, I'm definitely like rooting for her and praying for her mental health and stuff in that space. Like all the slash she about to get, because you already seen as soon as they announced it, like everybody couldn't wait to like tear her down on Twitter and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
So Morgan, and I know Morgan, you're in a lot of leadership that's happening at the school. So like when you think about this, right, this monumental moment that could happen in our country, right, with seeing a Black woman elected vice president, for you, right, and I know you have huge aspiration and ambition, but what would that presence, that just that image What would that mean for you and other Black girls when you see like a Black woman as vice president?
It was like, I just don't sound cliche, but it was really inspiring because, like Leela says, you don't see too many Black women in a predominantly white space. And luckily, I got the opportunity to go on Leela's Ivy League college tour my freshman year. And then that's all, like when we went up to Columbia, I met my mentor up there. Thank you, Leela. And they were just all talking about like claiming your space. Like, this is your space. This is like the time where you take action. And it's actually like seeing it in play, like actually seeing a Black woman take action and like running for vice president. It was like cool when I saw a woman running for president. But when I saw somebody that was Black and a woman, it was crazy because like I said, like she's taking and reclaiming her space.
Absolutely. Listen, I think I have a daughter, and so Leela, like you said, like I'm not about to give any white folks any ammunition to tear down this Black woman, right? So listen. I want my daughter to grow up in a world where they see a Black woman. So I'm gonna say this: just like in 2008, when I voted for Obama because he was Black, because I just like I didn't really care. I was young, right? First time around, I'm like, he's Black, I'm gonna vote for him, right? We cannot give folks ammunition to tear down this Black woman. There's all this hate and spew and all this other stuff. Like, I ain't trying to. At the end of the day, she's a Black woman, and her presence alone will say a lot for Black girls that are my daughter's age at 1 and like you are. So, Jania, I see you back with us. I think she's back. Yeah, you back? I think we still lost in the South. So we're gonna stay on this Kamala Harris thing real quick. So let's say she doesn't win. Let's say Biden and Kamala doesn't win, right? You've all experienced a Trump America so far. What do you think it will be like now if he was to win re-election again and we had to endure another 4 years of this, but also enduring it in a sense where we were this close, right? To seeing hope. You know, what do you guys envision it being like? So Morgan, when you think about you're going to graduate high school and start college potentially in a Trump America 2.0, like what do you anticipate that being like?
Oof. So I want to go to University of Southern California. I want to go to film school out there. And University of California, it's in Los Angeles. Los Angeles isn't the most diverse place when you go behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So I really think the Trump supporters, they finna come harder, but I also feel like Black America, but really Black Twitter is gonna come even more harder because we, at this point, like we've always been fed up, but what's been happening the past couple of months, and then if Trump gets reelected, we're gonna be real fed up, and America is just gonna have to feel how us, like Black people in 2020 feel, but then also how Black people, how we about to embody our ancestors, and we're gonna embody their pain, and we just gonna put it out. I feel like if Biden and Camilla doesn't win, I just feel like Black people gonna come harder because
Black Twitter with Trump winning again ain't gonna be pretty. Black Twitter, Black Instagram, Black Facebook, Black Snapchat, Black Planet gonna come back if Trump win again. You hear me? It's gonna be Black MySpace and everything. So Jania, we were talking about Kamala and the presence in itself. You there? I think she's there. I think I heard her. Let me see. You there? Go without the headphones. So Leela, I'm gonna go to you.
Does it sound good?
We heard you. We got you. You there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I asked the question earlier to yeah, I can hear you.
Is
so
it
I asked
sound
him
good?
earlier.
Can you hear me?
Hold on. All right, Leela, I'm gonna jump to you. I'm gonna jump to you real quick because I think we got a little delay. I'm gonna jump to you. So, Listen, you and you could graduate college. I just do the math real quick, right? You gonna graduate college potentially in a Trump 2.0. So let me ask you, like when you potentially graduating college and jumping into the workforce, like what's your fear, your worry about that?
Okay, so like when I first came to Notre Dame, they do this thing called the plunge where they call the black kids together and like we hear from the upperclassmen on like how to navigate the space because we have to live like biculturally now. And last year I remember the seniors saying we had it so hard because we came in here in 2016 when Trump won. And it was like going to school in an election year is horrible because like the white people on campus, they feel so bold to say what they want to say. Like we're moving in, and these people are putting their Trump ass out their window. Like get your couch in your room first. Like so they already hyped up. Trump was coming to do his first speech, his campaign speech at Notre Dame's campus. Like I don't think Notre Dame even thought what that's gonna be like the South Bend community or the black students on campus or anything like that. But luckily it just got canceled. But like when it got canceled, the students were already mad about that. Like people here love him. They love him so much. So if he does win again, I already know they're gonna be like outright racist. Like they gonna just be fired up and infuriated. And I'm still working with how to like read people professionally or be palatable because I'm just gonna say what's on my mind. Like I'm at the point where like a lot of I really hate that like the black kids here they try to be like professional with the cussing out or something or like saying what they want to say and it's like they don't really get the point done. But like I think I like the way I do say stuff because like all that polishing up just like misses the point. And then pushing our actually like do their jobs and make sure everybody's safe because the professors be letting outright stuff just like be said in the classroom and not say nothing. Like they don't make inclusive spaces. So if something's be wild in my business classes, especially because white kids love the economy more than people. If something wild gets said, like I know I'm gonna have to like advocate for my people and speak up. Like and I'm okay with that. But I know if I do get hard, I got people who like already been through that before, like I can call on and stuff at this school. So I think that'd be good. And they also got like events talking about it.
So I want to stay on that because you touched on something about professors because I want to kind of pivot and talk about like we all went through the summer and we witnessed the murder of George Floyd. We heard about the story weeks later about Breonna Taylor. And speaking of that, we need to make sure you see at the bottom of the screen that needs to happen ASAP. We want arrests and prosecutions. But when you think about everything that happened, right? And this goes for all three of you. Like we think about everything that happened in the summer that we experienced with the protests and everything like this. One of the things I've been talking about on my shows lately is, white folks now, they didn't pick it up. They picked up these anti-racist books, right? So everybody's quoting white fragility and, I want to be, anti-racist and all this other thing. Like, and I'm sure all of you have white teachers or in your case, the white professors. I want to know, since we've been back, right? Have you seen a change in some of your white teachers and professors about how they approach you and how they're kind of being delicate? Because again, like I think everybody's on notice, right? Particularly, white folks with the things they say and how they act. So Leela, I'm gonna start with you because a college campus, right? You talked about professors and students. Like, what's it been like? What's been the interaction with some white professors or white students at Notre Dame since all this has happened? Now this new heightened sense of racial equality.
Yes. So when I told you I reached out to my professors on Sunday. Like we in college, you should be able to deal with your professors. Like you ask them for something, that's yes or no. A couple of them turned me into the dean. Remember I told you they just turned me in instead of dealing with me. Like they just don't want to deal with like any conflict or nothing like that. Like you could have just said no. I'd be like, okay, he said I can't go virtual. I'm just gonna come in. But like my other teacher, he was like, oh, I feel your concerns. Like I already know it's your experiences. Like he was down, and in classrooms. Some of them, like we're in business, so and we'll go to a Catholic school. So, be like before they go into classes, like they pray before we even start the class. Like some teachers, well, this is kind of problematic too. But Catholic people, they feel like God don't want us to be racist and stuff. They take that approach to it. So some of them be having like that compassion and stuff like that, even though they don't realize like the part they play in it and how complicit the Catholic Church is. But another story. So some of them take that approach, and other people they just disregard it. Like they just only talk business. Like forget the ethical and this and all. Like they just don't disregard everything that's going on. So and the other day it was dope though. On my accounting professor, we watched the episode of Shark Tank, and it was these black people with a dope idea, and they was pitching it. They wasn't using the right jargon. So they got voted off, and he was like, it's the only reason they didn't do that because nobody has been teaching them. Like he was like, I grew up. He was like, my friend is like the CEO of Carter, and like my family, we've been like in these big businesses, so I already knew what that stuff meant. But if they had like a strong accountant on their team who could help them out a little bit, they would have won because the idea was like real profitable. So like he mentioned stuff like that to let the other students know who like haven't been experiencing these discrepancies, like these exist, and this is how you use your privilege to help it. So I did respect that, and I had a couple of those instances last year too. So I think it's just hit or miss.
It's hit or miss. So we got a comment. So it says, during the registration process, I asked one of the administrators to do something about there only being white saints all over the school. There are tons of black saints. Use their pics. I've also been asking to get the depiction of Mary and Joseph and Jesus out of the building because they are incorrect. And even though the school is only 14% black, we matter. So Cecina is a Catholic school, right? I believe, right? And so, I think it's dealing with some of the same things, right, that's happening at Notre Dame. So Morgan and Jania, right? Like when I think about a high school, right, and the K-12 sector, and I'm gonna speak from a principal, right? I think it's one of the things that I've been preaching about since all this happened on my show. Like, y'all can miss me, right, with all your anti-racist books and all your book clubs you did in the summer. I need to know that you did a book club to teach kids how to read. Like, that's another story for another day. Because your job is to be a teacher. Your job is not to be a professor of anti-racism. I don't need you to do that, right? So just because you read a book and you got some new quotes and you learned about some black people, I don't need you to do that. But Morgan, when you think about like, and again, like this ain't got to be your experience, because again, right, we got some eyes and that's cool. But like when you hear about your friends at other schools or whatever, like what's that been like when like white teachers at the school, do you feel their approach has been a little different? Do you feel them being more careful, or have some just embrace it, like being honest, like, look, it hit me differently too. Like I wasn't aware of these things. What's that been like since all this happened this past summer?
I
mean,
here's the
they
thing.
might be watching. I don't know because I didn't got. Never mind. Let me stop.
I'm going to be completely blunt. Nothing has really changed. My teachers, they still come the same. Like, I mean, my school is literally 99% black. Mm-hmm. That 1% maybe mixed kids. I don't know, but they still consider black. But they haven't come to me the same. They haven't even really talked about it. It's kind of like only one person, like my sociology teacher, because we don't take psychology anymore, we take sociology.
Gotcha.
Said, she's like, we're going to be talking about race, and I just want to say out the gate, I don't know what it's like to be black, so if you guys ever feel the need to correct me. I have no problem with that. Yes, you're not going to understand what it's like to be black, but you have to realize if you're not going to actually address the issue, you're kind of not helping.
True. Yeah.
Like, you have to address the problem to fix the problem. And if you're just standing on the backside not saying anything, your silence is deafening.
Yeah.
I don't think Tinley teachers realize that because they're going to be like, oh, well, I work with all black kids. I mean, I can't be racist, but that's not true. I mean, Tinley's brought a lot of more black teachers in the building. Like, all
skin folk and kin folk.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Like,
but let me ask you this, Morgan. When you think about the conversation that you've had with your classmates, right? And Jania, jump in this anytime too. Like when y'all think about the conversations y'all have with your classmates and friends about everything that's happening, did you expect school to be different? Like, did you expect your teachers to address it, or did you want your teachers to address it, or these conversations y'all just have amongst each other?
Oh no, I want my teachers to address it. I want my teachers to say their opinion on. Let's have a discussion. Let's do something, because me and my friends, we was all protesting. I mean, we wasn't looting. We was thinking about looting, but we wasn't.
Don't be looting. I mean, here's the thing. Listen, what they say in Black Panther. If they don't feel the warmth from the community, they'll burn it down and feel the warmth, right? So like if I've been telling you, I need you to hear me, right? We're being mistreated. We're in a broken system, like education, right? Like that's gonna happen. And so eventually, if you're not listening to us, the only way I'm gonna get your attention is I'm gonna have to do something to get your attention, right? And so that's my stance on the looting.
I really feel like Tinley teachers should have said something, because when Drayshawn Reed passed, he was in Tinley for a little bit. So I feel like Tinley should have at least said something on that, but again, their silence was deafening.
Yeah.
So
Jania, you got something you wanna? I can hear audio just a little bit. So
Nia.
oh, is that you? I think I heard it. Well, I'm gonna finish. So when Morgan, to your point about
With my school,
oh, there we go.
with my school, I mean, I'm not gonna put them on blast. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. So I think the audio is that. So we're gonna go around. So before we close out, I said I was gonna give everybody their little solo screen. So Morgan, I know in the beginning when you introduced yourself, right, you mentioned that you are a photographer for the football team, but I seen a couple of the pictures though, and they kind of dope. So before we close out on this episode, I'm gonna give you the solo screen. Wait a minute. I want you to tell the folks, like, where can they find you? Where can they book you at? What you doing and how you even got into the whole photography thing.
okay, well, let's start when I got into photography. I got into photography because Indiana Black Expo, they have this thing. I forgot. YMI, is that okay? Yeah, it's called YMI. We call it so many different things. I always forget the name for it, but it's YMI, and it's they have like a lot of performing arts. They have music, dance, acting, and I'm in film and production. So I joined film and production, and I really got really deep into it. And so that was in September. By November, I had my own camera, and I started taking pictures for girl and boy basketball. And then I started actually getting into editing and like actually, getting better at it. So I made my Instagram page. What is my Instagram page?
Gotta get the Instagram.
Because the name of my company is Mo's Photography. It's something simple. I don't have anything yet, but my Instagram name is shots.bymo. You can book me on there. All you got to do is DM me. I'm very cheap since I'm up and coming. Support Black businesses, you guys. Support Black businesses.
Support Black businesses.
Yeah, and so I mean, I've been saying a lot of things about Tinley, but at the end of the day, Tinley does have its good, Tinley does have its bad. But Tinley really did give me the opportunity to really branch out on like what I want to do. The coaches, they give me a lot of opportunities to take pictures for them, and some of them sometimes really just hook me up with other people that are in photography and film, and they really help me. Huh? No. Okay, I'm sorry. And so yeah, so get me at shots.bymo, or if you know my manager, Timothy Wright, hit him up.
Shout out to Mr. Wright. Yeah, he's got it. All right, so you said
over here barking.
What's up, dog? All right, so Morgan, one more time, give them the Instagram and tell them where they can find you again if they want to book you.
Shots.bymo. You book me on there. My website will be up soon. I just have to get my LLC together, and we'll be really up and running soon.
There we go. All right, I'm gonna bring Janae. I got you on the solo screen. You there? Let me see if she.
I got change.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
That was cool.
Okay.
All right, so Jania, we gonna go back real quick. I'm putting you on the solo screen. So we didn't get to hear your perspective on everything with the image of potentially seeing a Black woman in the White House. So like thinking about Kamala Harris potentially being vice president, like as an African American girl, like growing up and being a young lady and going to college soon. Like, what is that image? What would that mean to you to see a Black woman as vice president?
I think that would mean a lot, especially her getting involved in something like that. That's something that I've taken interest in. I really like politics, and seeing a Black woman, being in that role is really inspiring. And I find that like it's very amazing that she was able to, be strong enough and do that. So I think that it's going to be really good for a lot of people, and we need someone like that to step up.
Absolutely. And so we also talked about, because I want to hear from you, right? And we got time, like when we think about like everything that happened with the protests, right? Like, and your mom put it in the, like, Cecina's a Catholic school, right? And I know predominantly students are white and the teachers are white. What's that like for you, right? Even in a virtual sense, stepping back into that space with white teachers, have you seen a shift or a difference with how the teachers are interacting with you?
So far, I haven't really seen a difference. I mean, there are a lot of times where I've had to confront them about some issues, like the way they portrayed Mary, the way they portrayed Jesus, and I think that.
So tell us more about that. That's interesting. So like as a student, when you had to confront, right, like your teachers and the whoever, like what was that like? Like were they responsive to it? Were they receptive, or did you find some pushback? Like, I mean, that's bold and powerful for you.
There's some teachers who like they have opinions on it, but they're too scared. They're like they don't speak on it. But I've confronted my Catholic theology teacher about it, and he told me that they want Jesus created in their own image. So that didn't make sense to me, because I feel like, why, if you want him in your image, why make him one way for every single person? But I think that I don't know if they're gonna make like something different, if they're gonna start addressing issues that are going on, but I think that it would be really important if they did, because there are a lot of things that need to be brought up, especially with Jesus and Mary and the saints. So
now, are you doing it? Like, is this just you? Like, you have your friends? Like, is it more? Are there more Black students speaking up about this, or is it a very small number? Like, what's that been like, the Black students at the school?
It's a very small number. So I usually, because sometimes some classes I'll be the only Black student. Sometimes I'll be the only Black girl in the class. So I'm in classes with a lot of white boys. I'm in a lot of classes with a lot of white people. So it is kind of hard to, speak my mind without being shot down or without being, ridiculed. So sometimes I have some of my classmates, like my Black classmates, they'll say something, but it's really not a lot of Black people. I mean, it depends.
So, Janine, I know your mom, and your mom is a strong Black woman. So let me ask you this: do you ever feel a space? And I'm gonna bring the other two in as well, because I'm gonna pose this question, like, as I was thinking about it. In those spaces, and Janine, I'll start with you. In those spaces, do you ever see like them trying to make you question like your Blackness, or even tone your Blackness down? Like, first of all, I just want to say I think it's powerful that in that space where it's not that many, that you spoke up about something like that. Like, but do you ever see where they try to tone your Blackness down? And if they do, like, what's the impact been like for you? I listen, I know what your mama would tell you to do, right? And I know she's raised you the right way, right, to embrace your Blackness and love it. But like, how's that been for you? Like, and what's that experience been like, Leela? And I want you to jump in after Jania. Like, just what's that been like? Have you seen them have to try to tone down your Blackness?
I think they're very like, they try to skate past things. So they're not really bringing up things that we really need to talk about. They kind of roll over it. I'm waiting for so right now I'm taking like a current events class. So I'm just waiting on her to start bringing up like some current events that like have affected my community. And I don't know if she'll bring it up, but hopefully she will. And I don't know. So far, nothing has been brought up, but I hope that there will be.
So tell us about this. Well, your mom said the flag thing, and then she put in here that they yelled at you. So we want to know what's the flag thing. That's the story that the folks want to hear. Because again, people watching this live, but this video is gonna play later. So what's the flag thing that happened, and touch on that?
I think I think she might be talking about, so there was one time where I addressed, and this was freshman year, and I was in an orchestra class, and there was all white students, a lot of white boys in that class, and I was talking about how how America is racist, how you know, a lot of stuff that they stand for is, you know, racist. So once I said that, like, oh my God, they went crazy. Like they were like yelling at me. They were so mad, like they were heated. And so they were just like, how could you, like, why don't you leave this country and go to
Oh, see, they come. Damn, I was. Woo, she's bringing a fight. Leela, jump in. When Jania gets back, we gotta finish that one because that leaving the country. That leaving the country. That listen, that's a whole nother episode. Leela, but tell me what you heard, your experience. As soon as she get back in, wait a minute, she's back. I think she's back. We gotta get back to that. Hold on, Jania, you there?
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what? See, the Trump haters, they then tapped into the internet. Anyway, Jania, let's go. You said that they told you to leave this country?
Yes. Yeah, they told me to leave the country, and they said something like go to the Middle East and get your head cut off. And I was just like, that's not, I didn't know what to say at that time. It was really bad. But I think that the teachers, they don't really notice. I don't know if they don't notice or they just don't say anything, but I try to speak up about things. It's just hard being the only person.
Okay.
I'm not trying to blast my school, though.
No, Jania, you graduate this year. So after you walk across the stage, I'm gonna say something about the school. I'm gonna say my comments until you graduate because me and your mom are friends. Okay? Because me and your mom is friends, I'm a hold my thoughts. But best believe when you graduate. I know you know your graduation date. What is it?
May something.
Okay, so May after your May something, I got something I gotta say. Me and Black Twitter, we got some stuff we gotta say. So okay, so Leela, I need you to jump in. Wait a minute. Your mama said I pay tuition. She can say whatever she wants. That's right, mama. That is right. We pay that tuition. But your mama gave me the green light, so I might have something I gotta say about that. So Leela, I saw you nod your head when Jania was in the solo screen, especially when you talked about being the only Black girl in a white space. Please tell me what that's like. What that's been like for you.
She really, like, I just started resonating with everything she was saying. So prior to coming to, first of all, I didn't even know what Catholic school meant. Like, I went to a Catholic school for like 2 weeks in 3rd grade and got kicked out and had to go back to an all-Black school. My whole life, I've been to like all-Black schools or like public schools. Like, I went to LEN and then got kicked out of there and transferred to Tinley. So I only clearly thrive in Black spaces for the most part. So coming here, it was already a culture shock for me. And like the second weekend of school, they took us off campus to the plunge. And it was a girl from Indianapolis. I'm not gonna say her name, but like she one of my friends. And she said the most damaging thing to me ever. Like she was like, that's where I got that word palatable from. She was like, you gotta be palatable, you gotta tone it down. Like we don't jig here. Like we don't bring that East Side stuff here. And that's like the Black kids here, like it's like I never got the experience from professors telling you to turn it down. Like it's the student, like the Black students, they're like, you can't do that here. But it's like, why not? Like I came here, I'm gonna disrupt the space. Like, why do we want to keep existing in the space or try to be as close to white as possible? Like, so I push back on that. Like, nah, that's the worst advice you can give somebody. Like, embrace yourself. So that was like the thing from the Black students. And then not so much the teachers, but in the dorm. So I'm the only Black girl in the dorm this year. On this floor, at least. And then last year was like 2 of us. And the other girl, she came from a Catholic school. So like she already knew how to navigate these spaces. But I don't know if y'all know, I started doing wigs and stuff. Like I'm the type that's gonna braid my hair, I'm gonna play my music, I'm start putting this wig on. Like I switched the looks. And my roommate, like she was right across the hall and I'm loud, but oh well, she was struggling with that. Like she told on me one day because I was putting my wig on. Like if my friend was in there spraying like blow drying the got to be and stuff. And like instead of asking me what was the process, like she was told on me, it was like she wasn't comfortable. And like I had to say something to her about that. And you know, white people like to weaponize their tears, and we eventually had to split the rooms. Like,
wait, hold on. You need to run that back for the folks that missed it. Say that one more time. Run that back. White
weaponize their tears. Like, so I got played like the bully and everything for being myself. And I checked my rector about that. That's the rector is like the the head RA, like she the adult over all the RAs. And we was talking. I was like, you like that white girl weapon her tears because you white, and you resonated with her. And when I had left out the room, it's only one black AR in the room, and she was like, when you left, they were like, Leela's treating that girl so bad, she got to get out. And the black girl, she didn't stick up for me in that space. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna say something for myself. Like, and she a law student, so she just told me afterwards, like, yeah, they was talking about you. I'm like, oh no. So I went and said something to the director about it, and she's like, every day over the summer, Leela, I've been reading White Fragility. I'm like, well, baby, Robin DeAngelo can only do so much for you. Like, that's not gonna change. And she keep calling me in the hallway. She keep emailing me, sending me happy birthdays. I want to talk about it and stuff, and like telling me about her journey to being anti-racist. But like the books and stuff don't faze me. I want to see some change in this dorm. So like after that, we started like a Howard Women of Color group. So like all the minorities in the group. Like we just met last night. So we've been meeting and stuff and talking about it and like planning to do stuff because living with all white people and like they just think it's their space and like no, this is our space and we're gonna make it equitable. Like period. It's no, we're gonna read a couple books and keep it. And like, no, it's not gonna fly with me. So everybody else, all my black friends, like Leela, just leave the dorm. And like, no, I came back to the same dorm, like staying in the space because I don't feel like running from it is gonna help or like moving off. So yeah, that's been my experience. And not so much the professors. Like the professors, I mean, they really let you be you in the class. You do what you want. But it's like the students on the campus. Like the black students is just as much as the white students who try to make you be as close to white as possible. Like I know black students.
And that's, but see, that's the problem, right? That what you just said, like it's supposed to be the folks that's supposed to have our back, right? Like the ones that we already outnumbered, right? And then you know you ain't got my back. But like you said, the white folks weaponize them tears, though. They do. They use them tears, boy.
Yeah, she was talking about they 14%. We're 4%. We're 500 out of 10,000 or something like that. Like we're close to like no matter like we're like 3.5%. So it's less than 500 here. So yeah, we way smaller. And a lot of these people, like a lot of my black friends never had black teachers before. Like these are the environments they coming from. A lot of my black friends are rich. Like so my black they coming from totally different environments. And I be having to tell them like just because that's what you used to don't mean it's okay. Like you should be able to be yourself and embrace your blackness without trying to tone it down every 5 minutes because you worry about what somebody gonna think.
So before we go, I gotta give Jania and Leela the solo screen. But Morgan, I gotta ask you a question about something because Jania and Leela talked about their experiences being the only blacks in an all white classroom. But you go to Tinley, right? And as we talked about, like everybody in that mud black. Leela, you know, you went to Tinley, right? All the students are black. But like Morgan, I want you to talk about like what Leela talked about. This when you're in these spaces with other black students. And it's not the same support, right? We're not sticking together. So have you experienced that at any moment? I know you did at Tinley Collegiate. Shout out to Kelly Marshall and Collegiate because I know about that. But anyway, since you've been like in high school, have you seen spaces where as Leela described, right, where black folks ain't sticking up for one another?
Okay, so I go to Tinley, but I live in a predominantly white town on the far west side. I kind of grew up around here. So apparently like being in a space where people look like me, but it's always kind of different because they look at me and they're like, oh yeah, she's black, but on the inside she's white because she's been raised around in a white town. So they'll be like, oh Morgan, you're not really black, you're an Oreo. But they say that, and then I play volleyball, and volleyball is really a predominantly white sport, and it has a lot of politics in it, even though it's not supposed to. So I go and play club, and I'm not welcome there because it's like, oh, she's black, she has braids, she gonna come in here loud, da 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 da. We don't really want her here. So it's like, where am I welcomed? And so I like fight that battle because like when I'm around my black friends, I'm not black enough, and when I'm around my white friends, I'm not white enough. And so people sometimes don't realize that. And so, but me, it's code switching. Like being in Tinley more, like I really like learn how to like talk more to black people, even though it shouldn't be different, and talk to white people. It's my code switch. It's like a lever in my brain that just automatically goes off. So I had to learn that over the years. I had to learn people are always going to have some type of negative connotation when they look at me, But I have to move past that because at the end of the day, it's not gonna stop my bag. It can't stop my bag because I gotta get the bag.
There it is. There it is. Can't stop the bet. All right, so we're at the deadline. Before we close, again, I gotta give Jania and Leela the solo screen. So Jania, I do a solo screen, so I'm about to put you on a solo screen again. Is there anything that you want to share with the folks? Any side projects you doing, anything you involved with, or just anything you want to leave us with before we close? The solo screen is yours. You're still muted.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So far, I really like this talk, and I think that was needed. I think it was really, really helpful to talk about. I think that us talking about coronavirus and how it's affected our school and our education as students, and not just the teachers, was really helpful. And I think that this was really important. But that's
I appreciate
really
it. Hey, tell your friends about it, and tell your friends they want to hop on here, they can. But tell your mom back there. Is your mom over there? Tell your mom, come here. Put it on the screen. Tell her, come here. I gotta show some love. Look, so she gonna come on the screen. She ain't coming on. Come on, Danny, get on the screen. She said no. When me and you gonna get on the show together? Because we got some stuff we need to talk about.
What did he say? What made me what?
We got some stuff we need to talk about. Come on the screen.
What did he say?
Come on, get on the screen. What'd she say?
Okay. What did you ask me?
I said, when are you gonna come on the show? Because me and you got some stuff we need to talk about in the show. So when can I get you on the Recess podcast?
Whenever. This time perfect for me.
There it is. Y'all heard it. Well, I might be hitting you up for next week or the week after. All right.
It was really good.
Right.
Really good.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. Don't go nowhere, Jeanette. We don't go nowhere. All right. Leela, listen. Tell the folks, because listen, you got some major stuff happening. And I remember a quick story. So I remember Leela came to me with this idea, and I just gave her some real simple advice, nothing earth shattering. And then I look up, and not only did she take kids across to see Ivy League schools, but she done started a full-fledged nonprofit. So Leela, please tell the folks about the Champion Project, like what you doing, and somebody just dropped your bag on you. Somebody dropped some funds on you to show you some love. So just tell the folks what the Champion Project doing, what you're doing, and how they can get involved and how they can donate to help you with the work you're doing.
Yes, so I am the founder and executive director of the Champion Project. In a nutshell, the Champion Project is Black and Latinx students' way to the top tier colleges. So we all hear about like the Harvards, the Stanfords, the USCs, the Notre Dames on the news, but we don't really see too many Black people, especially not Black Americans or Latinx Americans from urban neighborhoods in these spaces. So that's the way that I want to disrupt this space and like show them how resilient we are and like come dominate and be leaders in these spaces. And I really want not only just to be here for myself, but bring people who look like me and come from the same neighborhoods with me. So we do college tours. They're postponed right now through COVID, but that just means we kicked up our virtual coaching way more. So we're bringing like the colleges to the students this year. I'm really excited about that. Last year we had 6 students because it was just a pilot program. So yeah, we got those 6 students into Duke, Cornell. We have one going to Georgia Tech and a couple other top tier schools. And then this year we have 41 students signed up. So I'm excited to see where they end up going this fall. But you all can contribute by first donating on our website is www.championproject.co. You can also follow us on like our Facebook page, The Champion Project. We don't be getting that much engagement, so I need y'all to come interact with us. But also on Instagram and Twitter at with 2 E's Champion Project, because yeah, this is the illustrious Champion Project. So
there you go.
We appreciate y'all support. When y'all go follow us, click the bio. We just got an app. Make sure y'all download our app. We got scholarships, internships, and anything else you could think of. We definitely dropping like all the resources to help you all, the students and the parents, navigate the college prep process so you can prepare an application that's dope enough to get into the top tier schools and eventually get into your dream school.
And listen, folks. I mean, Leela started this in high school, right? And again, she's continuing this, and this is about a legacy, right? Like, and what she's trying to do. And again, if you miss this, the Champion Project, like she's trying to provide access for Black and Latinx students to top tier universities because we've talked about it, and you've seen where a lot of times that those doors haven't been open. But what Leela's trying to do is she's trying to make sure that door is open, and the students that get in those schools, they're also trying to keep that door open and blaze the trail for folks. And I think it's amazing. So again, like go to the Champion Project, learn more about it. Just Google it. Google Leela, follow her on Facebook, and donate because again, this is the youth. Right? When we think about everything that's happening in our country, right? The only way we're going to get out of this despair is we need the youth. We need Jania's, we need Morgan's, and we need Leela's. And it's our obligation as adults. So I'm speaking to those adults that follow the Recess podcast that are involved. We have to help the future. You know, me and my boy, Dr. Smith, who do the AOS podcast with, our AOS podcast, we call it about the realest generation. And the realest, it's not my generation, right? I like to say I'm the leader of it, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help the next group, the future. These three young ladies are example of that future. And so I'm encouraging everybody, support the youth in any way that you can. Support Morgan in photography, Leela with the Champion Project, and also we need more folks back in Geneva because this is a Black girl who is in a predominantly white space, speaking up and speaking her truth.
Yes.
And sometimes that space can be lonely, especially when it's not a lot. But we have to make sure that we surround her by love and support in all of them. And so again, I need all of you to go out and support these youth. We're at time. This is the Recess Podcast. It's been amazing. Again, I told y'all when I bring the youth, we bring the heat. And again, Recess Podcast is simple: create the platform, control the conversation, and change the culture. Catch us next week. And my boy, Dr. Smith, he gave me a title. So, Jania, Morgan, for sure. Like, we might have to, Leela, we might have to bring y'all back in a couple of months. And like my boy, Dr. Smith said, Black students who graduated from white schools and the trauma they went through while there, yet still excel. Boy, that's a lot. But that could be a major conversation. But again, it's been a Recess Podcast. I encourage you to share and like this. Be on the lookout because I'm gonna share this link. Also, we're on Apple Podcasts, so follow us on Apple Podcasts, Recess Podcast, and May Apple Podcasts. You'll catch me next week. I'm gonna be back solo. I got a lot I gotta say about some stuff, and I'm gonna give you a little teaser. I'm not gonna tell you what it's about, but I'm gonna be solo, so that means I'm gonna get on my soapbox and talk about things that is happening. But this has been a Recess Podcast. Jania, Leela, and Morgan, thank you. I appreciate you, and we out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.